With lightning and heavy rain postponing Saturday's scheduled homecoming game between the Broncos and the Akron Zips, the two teams squared off at a dried-out Waldo Stadium Sunday afternoon. Senior running back Jarvion Franklin led the Bronco offense with 130 yards rushing, while sophomore quarterback John Wasink connected with D. Eskridge on a 50-yard touchdown pass in the fourth quarter. Safety Devontae Ginwright and linebacker Robert Spillane led the Bronco defense. They held Akron to just 215 yards of total offense. But the Broncos, down one late in the game, ran out of time, and Akron held on for the victory 14-13. I'm Robin Hook. Coming up, head coach Tim Lester joins me for all the highlights on Week 7 of Bronco Review after this timeout.
Bronco Review is a production of Western Michigan University Athletics and WMU Media Services, and is brought to you in part by Greenleaf Trust, financial security from generation to generation. Trust is in their name for a reason. They've earned it.
We didn't just break the mold, we made it. And we spelled it L-I-T-E. Because when you invent light beer, you get to spell it however you want. Spelled different because it's brewed different.
Part of being a member at Arbor Financial Credit Union is the relationships and personal attention you get from our helpful and knowledgeable staff. But we realize you don't always have time for that. With Arbor Financial's secure mobile app, you can quickly check your balance, pay a bill, deposit a check, or find an ATM. In between, well, everything else. Visit us online at arborfcu.org for more information. Arbor Financial Credit Union. Bank here, grow here.
Are you considering home improvements? You should consider Blackberry.
Blackberry has completed several home improvement projects in our neighborhood, so when we were ready for 20 new replacement windows, we called Blackberry. They completed the project on time and their workmanship was outstanding. Our friends are amazed, and we love the transformation of our home both inside and out with our new windows from Blackberry Home Improvement Specialists.
Call today or go to blackberrysystems.com.
When I grow up, I'm gonna redefine pizza. One that will change the history of pizza forever. A pizza with the most cheese and the most pepperoni. This is my dream, and I can do it. Because my mom and dad said I can accomplish anything. And I will do great things in life.
Sorry, kid, it's been done.
But my dream...
Introducing Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizza. A large pizza with the most cheese and the most pepperoni for just $6.
Pizza, pizza.
Hi, I'm Jim Vandenberg with Maple Hill Auto Group. We know that car buying is a journey, not just a destination. We know that we need to be there each step of the way for you, through parts, sales, service, through your entire ownership experience. At Maple Hill Auto Group, we look at every customer, not as a single purchase, but rather as a start to a journey that we hope spans generations. Maple Hill Auto Group, for a journey like no other.
Spot is down, the kick is end over end, it's long enough, and it is good. 49-yarder for Josh Grant, and the Broncos are on the board.
A big kick by the Broncos freshman place kicker Josh Grant. The second week in a row he's had one beyond 40 yards. That was 49 yards out and a big 3 points. You needed every point on Saturday, and you came up just one short.
One short, yeah, and he that was a big one, for him. He had missed one earlier and needed to get a little confidence back, and 49 is quite a confidence builder, and I was proud of him for bouncing back after missing a short one earlier.
Not a normal weekend for Western Michigan football and Bronco fans. There you see the heavy rains that came down on Saturday over Kalamazoo and Western Michigan University and Waldo Stadium, one of the low points in the area, just filled up with water, and had to postpone till Sunday. And what a job by the facilities team.
Unbelievable. I mean, the things that happened for what they did to turn that thing around, 1.2 million gallons of water that had to be pumped out overnight, and they got the place up and ready, and the field was in great shape.
Slogan at Waldo Stadium, "We will rain." Well, it did rain a lot. Even rained on Sunday a little bit, but you were able to play this football game on a dry surface. They got it ready to play on, and here you go, lining up against the Akron Zips, a team that was in first place in the East Division of the MAC.
Yeah, and we had a great start. First drive was going well. Offensive line, we just kind of ran behind them all day with our running backs and had a lot of faith in what they could do. And Unfortunately, this drive stalled with an interception, which is something that hurt us and really swung the tide. But I was proud of the way the O-line and the tight ends, the way we came out on that first drive and moved the ball down the field.
Little jet sweep to D. Eskridge, and that's a little new wrinkle.
Yeah, we've been, that's something that kind of a Darius Phillips play too. That's something that, with Darius's injury, we hadn't used him this week just because we wanted to get him healthy. But once again, just proud of the way those guys battled up front and the way we ran the ball.
You have 3 running backs in the top 10 in the Mid-American Conference in rushing, and here's one of them, Jarvion Franklin, who was coming off that Buffalo game where he had 176 yards. He picked right up where he left off, 130 yards in this game.
Yeah, he's a workhorse. Him and to have 3 guys in the top 10 of the league is impressive, and Coach Johns has done a great job of using our strengths and running behind our line. And those guys run so hard, and Bellamy. He's definitely got a different speed than everybody else, and he got banged up. But I'm proud of those running backs, and don't forget the tight ends. They're just as big of a part of this running game as anybody.
Here you are on the ground. You lead the Mid-American Conference in rushing, Coach, and that offensive line and those ball carriers doing a great job. And here your defense. They gave up 14 points. One was on a quick change after a turnover. The other was an 80-yard drive, but after that, it was pretty much 3 and out for the Zips.
I thought they played fantastic. I mean, we gave them the one interception that they ran back to the 10-yard line, so that we gave them 7 points. And then, and really the second one came, the long drive that they had where 2 penalties aided those 2 first downs on that drive. So I really thought they played a great job, or did a great job, played a great game. We just didn't do enough. We needed another turnover on defense. We needed one of those great running plays to pop into a touchdown. And, we got to do a better job of finding our way into the end zone. It's ironic coming off of, a 7 overtime game where you scored 6 of 7 touchdowns in the red zone. And then the next week you go 1 of 4. So that's something that as coaches we need to get better at.
The run game with Jarvion and Jamari Bogan, and you've been rotating those 3 guys in there later on in this game. Unfortunately, Levante Bellamy gets hurt, but Jarvion and Jamari, 2 guys you can really lean on.
Yeah, and they've been together for a long time, and they're used to being a 1-2, 2-1 punch, however you want to put them. I don't think either one of them knows who's 1 or who's 2, and they were fine having 3, and now that we're going to have 2 here for at least this week. Maybe the next couple we'll be in good shape with those 2.
7-0 Akron on top as we move to the second quarter in a Sunday afternoon game at Waldo Stadium. And cheer team was there. Broncos were battling hard in the conditions and doing a good job on defense against the Zips. This is a veteran quarterback, Thomas Woodson.
Yeah, you have your 5th-year senior, and he had some wideouts, and the wind and the rain, slowed him up a little bit. But I thought the secondary did a great job of keeping everything in front of him. No big plays in the passing game. Everything had to be thrown underneath, which was the key, and then come up and hit him. And you see a bunch there, and we did a great job. I think they might have squirted 1 run on us. They went for 15 or 20. But other than that, we closed them up, and once they got the 2 touchdowns and got up 14, I mean, that was it. I don't know how many first downs they got after that.
Yeah, they scored on a little wildcat run there to take the 14-0 lead, but then the Broncos come back, and you don't get away from your game. Running the football is what the Broncos do, and there's Jamari Bogan on an outside run. And you just rotate those guys in there and move the football, and you have to settle for a kick here, and that one was good.
49 yards. Yeah, we stalled a little bit early on that one, and Josh has got the leg to give him a chance. When with our defense playing the way it is, you give that kid more chances. If the defense wasn't playing good, you play more field position. So I was proud of him bouncing back after missing the 25-yarder earlier.
Here's some more defense by the Broncos, just getting them stopped. He had to play without Sam Beal in this game, and Obi Jackson had a lot of snaps out there corner.
He did a great job, and Sam's back now, so we're happy to have him back. But we feel like even Emmanuel Jackson, our 4th corner, I really feel like all 4 of those guys are really good in this league.
All right, some more Bronco defense. They did not score the rest of the game. They had those 14 points, and as it turned out, that's all they needed.
I know. Unfortunately, that is all they needed, and that's something that obviously we need to work on. I thought the front 4 played really well. Our passing game was a little bit off. The balls, even there, is completion, but we weren't allowing the guys to catch and run. It was a lot of catch and fall downs, and we had a rough game, and that's where we got to continue to work with John, and John will be the first one he was hard on himself for missing a couple throws, and And he's had an unbelievable year, and he's going to continue to get better, and we're looking forward to watching him grow.
D. Eskridge and Anton Curtis and Keyshawn Watson, your top receivers, with Gio Ricci out with an injury. And Broncos go in at halftime down 14-3. Second half, they would mount a comeback. They'll fall a little bit short. We'll take a look at the highlights when we return for more Bronco Review after this timeout.
You trust Dunchie Body and Frame for all your collision repair work, but they offer so much more, like paintless dent repair, brakes and wheel alignment, and perfect paint matching. Dunchie also works with all insurance companies to make sure your vehicle is restored to pre-accident condition. So for personal service and high-quality workmanship, call Dunchie Body and Frame at 375-2100 or visit their website, dunchiebody.com. Dunchie Body and Frame, part of your community since 1973.
Whether it's your knee, back, or wrist, a small pain can be a big problem that affects everything you do. Ascension Care teams at Borges take the time to listen, because listening to you helps us see your whole picture. More conversation, more back and forth, more questions and answers. That's what helps us understand all aspects of you and your life. Find an orthopedic doctor who is right for you at borges.com/orthopedics.
The people who accomplish so much are always striving to do even more. Now, with our help, they will. It's time for more.
At Galesburg Ford, we're getting geared up for fall. So if your goal is to be driving a new car,
Rush on down to Galesburg Ford.
You can't afford to pass up these great deals on a new car or truck at Galesburg Ford.
Right now at Galesburg Ford, get an extra $1,500 rebate on Escape, Edge, or Explorer if you currently own or lease a non-Ford vehicle. Trick or treat, this deal expires on Halloween.
When it comes to your next vehicle, our team has you covered at Galesburg Ford.
not too far for your next car.
Your home isn't easy. This is where your kids will draw on the walls, where the people you love will gather to laugh and cry. It's a big decision, which is why choosing your mortgage partner should be easy. With low rates and quick turnaround, Arbor Financial Credit Union can create a customized mortgage solution that is right for you. Visit us at arborfcu.org to find out more. Arbor Financial Credit Union. Bank here, grow here.
He's going to pass right away, and he's hit from behind and sacked right away at the 25-yard line. Erica Sua came clean from the right side of the defense, the blind side of the quarterback Woodson, and he got drilled right in the back and dropped for a loss at the 25-yard line on the sack by Erica Sua.
Sunday afternoon football at Waldo Stadium, makeup of Saturday's postponed game between the Broncos and the Zips. And the Broncos were down 14-3 at halftime, but your defense, Tim, came out in the second half and got the ball right back for the offense.
Yeah, they got 3 and out, made them punt. We had good field position, you know, and that was good because we took the win in the fourth quarter. So we were against it a little bit, and they put us in good position the rest of the day, really.
All right, the Bronco offense will get back out there. That was Robert Spillane pumping up the troops. And here's the kick. You want a little pop kick as you were kicking into the wind. And special teams continue to excel, Coach. You're right up near the top in just about every special teams category in the league. And there's the sack by Eric Sua, who came hard from the edge.
Yeah, it was good to have him back. And he's been hurt for a couple weeks, and then he had to wear a brace last week. Didn't really seem like himself, and he got to take that brace off, and he was happy. And he came around that edge pretty good.
All right, here's Levante Bellamy before he went out with an injury in this game. As you rotate those 3 backs in, and here's Jamari. Somehow, Coach Johns, who calls the plays, gets all those guys some touches.
Yeah, it's impressive. It's an awesome problem to have. We talk about it all the time. How a lot of people would love to have it, but he's done a great job to get all 3 guys a pretty equal amount, and obviously now with 1 down, it'll be a lot easier.
John Wasink and a nice catch in traffic by Keyshawn. Those 2 guys continue to get better and better together, 2 sophomores.
Yeah, and all those sophomore receivers and quarterback and freshman kicker, they just keep getting better and better and better, and they're experiencing here. John pulled one down at halftime. I felt like when he didn't see what he liked, he threw that interception early. And here he pulled it down and ran it. It just shows he's growing, you know. He's getting better every single time he gets out there, and it's been fun to watch him grow.
The red zone was an area that wasn't so successful in this game. Going into the game, you guys were one of the best teams in the red zone in the MAC.
Yeah, you know, it was frustrating. I mean, basically it came down to a turnover and a missed field goal. You know, those are the big things. And then I went for it once on 4th down. We were about an inch short. So it's going to happen. The biggest thing is that we just continue to grow and continue to explain to our kids what went wrong and how well they had 430 yards of offense. We did. And we stopped them to 215. So we doubled them up, and we lost the game. And that doesn't happen much, but we have to learn from it and move forward.
If you looked at the stat sheet and didn't know what the score was, you'd think this was a blowout in favor of the Broncos.
If you saw 430 to 215, you'd say you must have thrown 10 picks, you know, something like that would have changed it. It was just it was getting stopped a couple times, missing some field goals, and not finishing drives in the red zone. So and that's something that we've talked about as a group, and we're going to fix.
They couldn't do anything on the ground. There's Spillane making a tackle. The Broncos were in the backfield before the backs had the ball.
Our D-line did a good job against their front five, and I thought it was impressed with the push they got.
All right, we go to the 4th quarter now. Western Michigan needing a 4th quarter comeback to get the victory, and you've had to do that before. You did it earlier in the season.
Yeah, I told the guys that the score was pretty much the same score we had at Idaho, and what sparked us there was the turnover, and here's number 6 right here getting the same thing that Obi did for us against Idaho, and it gave us a little bit of energy and unbelievable play. Not only did they not give them any points in the second half, they also got the ball back for the offense, and that's I'm having fun watching this defense grow.
Asante Brown with that big pick, and the Broncos are back in business, and the crowd is energized, the sideline is energized, and there's Jarvion. He's always energized.
He loves to finish every run. He will never step out of bounds. It's just not part of his DNA.
Did not want to go out of bounds there. Now you get those tough yards inside, and then you go up top, and here is a swing pass out there to Sanders, your freshman wideout, his second catch.
You know, we called the shot play, and they bailed off, so he came underneath. Then we put D in to run by him right there on the next play. And, it was fun to see D. It was the first time they connected on a go ball, and I hope to see a lot more of that.
50 yards in the air as John hooks up with D. Eskridge.
Great throw.
That was right on the money, and D just had to catch it and go in the end zone.
He'll run by. There aren't many people in our league that can run with him, and the fact that those two got on the same page for the first time. We'd hit a couple posts with him and wheels, but this is the first straight-out go ball that we hit. I felt like we had the momentum at this point, and there's tons of time, 11 minutes left in the game, or 10:40 or something like that, and our defense was playing well. I felt pretty good with where we were at.
Hey, you kicked the point there and make it 14-10. Your defense is playing well, and here you come with some pressure. Drake Spears almost gets him, and then Andre Turner tracks him down.
Yeah, I mean, we had people flying around. I mean, it started to feel like Ball State a little bit with our quarterback. Whoever had the ball was getting hit. They got us the ball back, and then here comes the running game again.
Broncos go on the ground and try to get in the end zone here, and you just can't get it into the end zone.
Yeah, we had one mistake, that we pulled the ball that we probably shouldn't have pulled, which is going to happen from time to time, and we end up getting in a long situation and ended up having to kick a field goal, and unfortunately, or fortunately here, we got it to a 1-point score, so next time we could take the lead with a field goal because we knew we'd get it one more time.
So a little over 5 minutes to go, and you kick it away, and you count on your defense to get it back to you, and they do. You just don't have any timeouts left in less than a minute.
Yeah, they got about 1 or 2 more first downs. We had an offsides penalty that hurt us on this drive because we really thought we'd get the ball back with about 3 minutes left. It ended up being about 50 seconds. I was proud of these guys because they didn't quit. Even when they got a first down, we knew it didn't matter how much time they gave us. They just needed to give us something to give Josh a chance to make a kick, and they did. And we got close enough. We got to the 41, and we gave ourselves an opportunity to win the game.
Caleb Bailey with the stop there, and here you're trying to get the ball back for your offense. You've had to use your timeouts here to stop the clock, and then had a penalty that kept the drive going. Finally, you got them stopped and made them punt. You got the ball back, as we'll see here in a minute, but they can't run the ball at all. You're just denying them on the run. There's Devontae Ginwright with one of his team-leading tackles, and now you have the ball back, but no timeouts, and you move it into the plus side of the field.
We did. The first 18-yard gain on the first play, and then John ran one, and big 4th down conversion right there to get on our side of the field, And I was proud of the way they worked. You know, we took a sack on the last play, which is something we talked about, and it'll be great to learn from for John. He didn't see the guy coming, but that's the one thing that can't happen, you know. And great learning experience. You know, it's never good when you lose a game, but the most important thing is we learn from it so we don't let it happen again.
All right, next up, cross-state rival Eastern Michigan. We'll look ahead to Week 8 for the Broncos after this timeout.
Maple Hill is proud to be a Subaru dealer. Subaru, it is like no other because of the 35 miles per gallon that you get in the summer and the all-wheel drive in the winter, the 5-star crash test ratings, the recommendations year after year from the best consumer magazines out there. Own it and you'll say, I love my Subaru. At Maple Hill Subaru, it is a journey like no other.
Part of being a member at Arbor Financial Credit Union is the relationships and personal attention you get from our helpful and knowledgeable staff. But we realize you don't always have time for that. With Arbor Financial's secure mobile app, you can quickly check your balance, pay a bill, deposit a check, or find an ATM. In between, well, everything else. Visit us online at arborfcu.org for more information. Arbor Financial Credit Union. Bank here, grow here.
Does your home need a facelift? You should call BlackBerry. For over 35 years, BlackBerry's been improving the look of homes throughout West Michigan with new roofing and siding. Right now, save 50% off the installation of new roofing and siding from BlackBerry, featuring the Owens Corning Duration Shingle and Mastic Vinyl Siding. 50% off installation of roofing and siding and pay no interest for 18 months. Call today or go to blackberrysystems.com.
Lastly, Uverse gives you a whole bunch of on-demand TV shows and movies. Let's get started.
Well, how many is a whole bunch? As many as Xfinity?
I swear you're gonna love it.
That didn't really answer my question.
Over 5,000 on demand.
Well, Xfinity On Demand gives us over 30,000.
We'll set it up for you.
Don't settle for Uverse. Get over 5 times more on-demand TV shows and movies on TV with Xfinity from Comcast.
Little Caesars has introduced the Extra Most Bestest Pizza, a large pizza with the most cheese and the most pepperoni for $6. This affects the pizza economy, causing demand for Little Caesars to skyrocket and employment to enter a pizza boom. Where will Little Caesars get all these new employees? Oh, that's where.
Get the new Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizza, a large pizza with the most cheese and the most pepperoni for just $6.
Pizza, pizza.
Play fake, back to throw is Wasink, gonna throw deep. He's got a receiver, it's Dwayne Eskridge at the 10-5, touchdown, Western Michigan! They throw the home run ball up the boundary to Dwayne Eskridge for 6.
D. Eskridge, a sophomore wideout, caught 7 passes, led the Broncos in receiving in Sunday's game against Akron. And these young receivers and your quarterback, they're growing together.
They're growing. We've had some ups and some downs, you know, and the run game makes it easier on them, you know, and we have to do a good job of just bringing them along at a good pace and growing them together.
All right, going to need both the run and the pass this week against a really good Eastern Michigan defense. They're one of the best defenses in the MAC. We'll come back and look ahead to Week 8, Western Michigan, Eastern Michigan. Now this time out on Bronco Review.
Staying with a standard checking account isn't much different than stashing your money in a piggy bank.
Oink, 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 oink.
A momentum checking account from Arbor Financial Credit Union is like strapping a rocket to your piggy bank and launching it to higher earnings. With momentum checking, the more you use your debit card, the more interest you can earn. Up to 4% APY on balances up to $15,000. Visit arborfcu.org to find out more. Arbor Financial Credit Union. Bank here, grow here.
Whether it's your knee, back, or wrist, a small pain can be a big problem that affects everything you do. Ascension Care Teams at Borgias take the time to listen, because listening to you helps us see your whole picture. More conversation, more back and forth, more questions and answers. That's what helps us understand all aspects of you and your life. Find an orthopedic doctor who is right for you at borgias.com/orthopedics.
At Galesburg Ford, we're getting geared up for fall. So if your goal is to be driving a new car,
rush on down to Galesburg Ford.
You can't afford to pass up these great deals on a new car or truck at Galesburg Ford.
Right now at Galesburg Ford, get an extra $1,500 rebate on Escape, Edge, or Explorer if you currently own or lease a non-Ford vehicle. Trick or treat, this deal expires on Halloween.
When it comes to your next vehicle, our team has you covered at Galesburg Ford.
Not too far for your next car.
Carter Osterhouse. What do you do when you discover something great? Well, you tell your family and friends about it, right? Well, that's exactly how Lake Michigan Credit Union became the fastest growing credit union in Michigan. With some of the best checking account rates in the nation and guaranteed low mortgage rates, word is spreading fast about Lake Michigan Credit Union. Anyone can open an account. So tell your friends. Lake Michigan Credit Union, the best place for your money.
1st and 10, Western Michigan. Hertzberger in motion. Turn around, hand it off to Franklin again. Jarvion to midfield. Jarvion up the left sideline to the 40. Down to the 35-yard line. To the 34-yard line. Jarvion Franklin. He just gets better with age. Age meaning as the game moves along.
And the Broncos will be leaning on Jarvion Franklin this week when they take on cross-state rival Eastern Michigan, who feature one of the top defenses in the Mid-American Conference. And Coach, you and Eastern Michigan have hooked up before. In fact, 4 times when you were a player at Western Michigan, and one of them was a Donnybrook with Charlie Batch, the quarterback at Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, it just seems like there's every game we against Eastern and Western, there's a story behind it. You know, I had one game my junior year where I threw 4 picks in the first half and 5 touchdowns in the second. You know, and all games go down to the wire. It's and they're a great team, and it's the best Eastern team I've ever seen with their defense and the way they fly around and that quarterback and those wideouts, and it's a really good football team. So we're gonna have our hands full.
They lost in overtime to Ohio. They lost last week at Army when they went for 2 late in the game for the victory. So this team's very capable, led by one of the best quarterbacks in the league, Brogan Roback. Yeah, he can use the whole field. He's one of the few guys you play, Sam Darnold, that can make every throw on the field, and he's got a bunch of good receivers. You know, the O-line and running game's coming along, but with him, he takes a lot of pressure off him, and they can rely on their defense because they fly around better than anybody. And they've got one of the most dynamic offensive players in Sergio Bailey. They'll have to keep an eye on him on Saturday when the Broncos take on Eastern Michigan at Rennerson Stadium in Ypsilanti. We'll be back next week with all the highlights as the Broncos battle the Eagles. Coach Lester and our staff here at Bronco Review, I'm Robin Hook. Thanks for watching. See you next week.